A woman was sitting alone in her house at night, and then she started hearing footsteps outside her windows. At first, she tried to ignore them, but a few minutes later, someone was trying to force their way inside her house. This happened in 2017 inside Del Monte Estate in Thika. You need to know that it's a large, controlled estate surrounded by plantation land. The houses are colonial-style bungalows that are very uniform and very spaced out. So you'd expect to see workers just entered your compound without anyone's permission, because again they were given access by the company, by the mountain company, to do that, and so it was common to see them, and also during the night. But night not as common, maybe depended, but you get the gist. You need to know that specific personnel had access to the houses. That is, except from apart from the residents who are staying in each of the houses, specific personnel like guards who patrolled the houses at night, outside the houses, not inside, like around the house or around a certain sector of few houses, and workers, or I might say gardeners. They would come into the compound of the houses and they would sweep and clean basically, but not inside the house, just outside, like the backyard and just the compound or the garage or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so the woman had just given birth a month prior, still staying at home because of the postpartum recovery and all that. So she was at home with the nanny, and the house had 3 bedrooms and a big kitchen and an open house plan. That meaning anyone who's sitting in the sitting room can openly talk to someone who's sitting in the dining room. So everything was open. The dining room windows could be easily seen by someone who is sitting at the corner of the sitting room. This woman's husband had traveled for work, and so she was alone again, except for the nanny and her 1-month-old baby. So because of her recovery, she used to sit in the sitting room in a comfortable side of the sofa, or what sofa she was sitting on, and she'd like binge watching TV till like late hours in the night, because again, if you know how, after having a baby, your body changes a bit, so she wouldn't get tired a lot during the night. So she would sit and she'd binge watch TV, and the TV had a special type of light adjustment. If you see the way, if you're outside a house, you could tell if someone is watching TV, even if the lights are off. For their TV, you couldn't tell. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's like advanced technology, to be honest, I don't know. But yeah, and then she used to sit there and binge watch, and with all the lights off. So this is after she had put her baby to sleep in the baby cot that was in the master bedroom, and her nanny was sleeping in the other rooms, in other of the 2 other rooms. Yeah, so she was just alone. This should be around, I think, like midnight or something. So she's just watching TV, minding her own business, right? By the way, they also had blackout curtains, so if you know what that means, yeah. Like basically it blocks any type of light. If you're outside the house, you cannot see anything. It basically blocks any type of light, mind you, plus it's at night. So yeah. Then all of a sudden she starts hearing footsteps outside the house coming from the gate. And I also forgot to mention that because the workers and the guards, the gardeners would just enter the house, and plus it's a gated community like an estate, the gates were always open because of that. So she just had someone, footsteps coming from the gate, inside the gate, towards the grassy area, and then there was a stone pathway now, like leading out to the door. She had that, and she was like, she wasn't bothered at first, because again, workers would just enter and maybe like leave their cleaning materials there and say, maybe I'll come and start cleaning this house tomorrow morning or whatever. Maybe they'd come to fix something. Again, she wasn't startled because of that, right? So she thought this would just end after like a few minutes, but it didn't end. This person, whoever was doing those footsteps, kept on walking now towards the door and around the door, and kept walking back and forth. So from the dining room windows, which was not very far from the door, because again I told you it's an open house plan, to the door. So they're walking back and forth for like almost 10 minutes. And then now she was like, okay, something is like amiss here, like something is a bit weird. But again, she was like, okay, maybe I could be imagining or exaggerating, because again, she's recovering from postpartum, like whatever. Yeah. So she just told herself, let me just stay seated where I am, and put whatever I was watching on hold, like pause, and just listen. Mind you, again, the lights are off. She watches TV, none of the lights on, and everyone else is asleep. The nanny and the baby are asleep, except from her. So she's like, okay, let me just, there's like a big misunderstanding. This will just end, and or so she thought. Then all of a sudden, the footsteps stop pacing back and forth. And they stop immediately in front of the dining room windows, one of the dining room windows, the one that was closest to the front door. So another thing I forgot to mention about the structure of this house, these Del Monte colonial bungalow style houses, is because they were in a very naturistic place. If you know how the Del Monte land and the plantations look like, they're very naturistic, not very, you can't even tell that in the city. So because of that, they're prone to a lot of like animal life, coming, to mess, stuff like that. So the house, that the door had, they were like, the main door had to layers basically. There was a metal mesh door, like you see the mesh net for like the way an animal cage would look like basically. So it's that a metal mesh, like it's like nets, but metal nets, not a mesh door. There, and then it just normally had like a small lock, and then now the normal door that has like an American knob, like you see the door knob with the American style, like the one for just twisting like this. So those two, and also the windows were like that. They had the metal mesh thingy on the windows, the first layer, and then now an actual window. It was strange, but that's how it was, because to keep the small like insects and animals. There'd be a lot of like those, because against a naturalistic place. So the footsteps stopped in front of the dining room window, the one that's closest to the door. And there's another, there's like 2 dining room windows. So the one that was standing there. And then all of a sudden, she hears whoever or whatever was stopped making those footsteps trying to force open the metal mesh window, like the first layer of the window. The person was trying to force it open for some reason. And then here, like, she was like, okay, now this is not any imagination. There is someone or something trying to break into my house, or trying to see if there's someone inside the house. So she just stood up slowly. She had socks on and she was stepping on a carpet, so minimal noise. So the floor of the house was wood. And wood sometimes can be a bit noisy, but so you know how wood can be noisy a bit, but if you know to step well, no one will hear you. So with socks, she tiptoed slowly to the other dining room window, the one that thing or person was not, like, basically opposite to where the other person was. And she wanted to peek through the curtains, because again, it's dark, no lights are on, no noise except for that person trying to force open the metal mesh. So she slowly turns, like she pulls aside a bit of the curtain. She's like, let me just speak slowly. You know how Africans are. So she's not like, oh, who is there? Like, no of that. So slowly, she's like speaking. Right. Mind you, the house is totally silent, no noise, absolutely dead. Still like bottom of the ocean, still quiet, watching like. She is peeping from the curtain like this, slowly, like small portions, and then she just put one of her eyes not so close to the window, just a bit, just to see. What she sees will forever haunt her. This woman describes seeing a shadow figure at the window, just trying to force it open. She just almost jumped, but still kept her cool, because again, the black people are not supposed to die in horror movies. Yeah, she just went away from the curtains and just stood back. And then her mind is trying to process whatever she sees. She's like, is it the postpartum playing jokes on me? Because again, women who have just given birth, okay, that's not necessary, but basically, after how should I say it? Basically, in childbirth, there's something about like having hallucinations after giving birth to your child, because of your brain is just tired and going through removing like a whole human being from you. So that's like unnecessary to tell you, but yeah, just so you get the context. Sorry. So she, in her mind is like, is it the postpartum? Is it like this is like postpartum hallucinations or something? Is she seeing things? Did she just imagine that? She said she saw a shadow figure, like Shadow Man from like some animation or something, or I don't know, some horror movie, just there, like forcing it open. And then she was like, okay, maybe I just saw things. Maybe it's just a person, but because of the darkness, maybe the person was wearing black. Maybe my mind just saw that, or maybe my mind wanted to see that, because again, it's giving horror movie. Or she was like, okay, whatever. Let me just focus on what to do right now. And then she's just standing there in the middle of the dining room, like now away from the window, just in silence, just thinking. Heidi is telling her, okay, what to do. All of a sudden, the person, the shadow figure trying to force open the window, stops doing that immediately. Stops, and there's this dead silence. This pierces the whole house. Silence. She's like, okay, what do I do now? Has that thing gone? What do I even do? And then she has her footsteps slowly turning away from the window and approaching the door and then stopping. And then this shadow figure starts forcing open the door, the metal mesh door. And I told you, doesn't have a very complicated lock, like a very small lock. So little, like if you're strong enough, you can definitely take it down. The person just like literally forcing it open. She was like, okay, my days are numbered. I'm about to die. My baby's about to be murdered. No one will ever find my body. I'm about, something bad is gonna happen. And she just panicked, but she's still in silence, because she didn't wanna alert that shadow thing, because again, she has a baby and the nanny. So she just kept quiet. And tiptoed towards the hallway of the rooms now, because the whole of the rooms had their like their own section, and there was a door that you'd close, that now would just be the rooms, and separate yourself from you get. Yeah, so she went to that hallway, like where now the rooms are, and then she just opened it. Then she woke up the nanny and told her, do not make any sound, that there's someone or something trying to force open the door and enter into the house, and I don't know what it is, what it is. Yeah. So You get up slowly, don't even wear your shoes, don't talk, don't do anything, don't scream. Go into the master bedroom where the baby is sleeping in the baby cot. Go and lock yourself in the master bedroom with the baby and carry your phone. Make sure you have credit. But if something goes bad, call, I don't know, call the neighbors, call the guard or whatever. He's like, you've listened to me, huh? Do not make any sound. Do not make any sound. That's what the woman told the nanny. So she's like, okay, yeah, let's go. Lock themselves. And then she took like a very long broom, not the ones for sweeping in jail, like just a normal long, like the long stick thing. She just stood there in between, like, you know, in the hallway where it's dark, just there. She's like, okay, the person open, I'll just strike and do what I can, right? Oh wait, before she did that, wait, she said that she took the phone and called her husband. I was like, hi, I think there's someone or something trying to break into the house, and I think I've seen like a shadow, but I don't even know what I've seen. And the husband is like, okay, if you're not tired from the postpartum thingy, maybe you're hallucinating. She's like, okay, no, but I mean, I'm not sure, but like, it's still creepy. He's like, okay, you know what, you seem freaked out. Okay, sawa basi. Yeah, he tells her, kata my call, end my call, I'll call you in like 10 more minutes. She's like, okay, whatever, is it 10 or like a few minutes later or something? So they call, and she was like, okay, whatever goes down, at least my baby's safe. So that's what happened. So she's just there, and then the person just there, forcing open, and then all of a sudden, you know those motion sensor street lights, but it was more almost inside their like their side of the house. It just turned on by itself. It turned on, and then whoever was doing that shadow man or whatever, just stopped whatever they were doing, stopped, and started like walking, you know, quickly away, now like towards the kitchen outside. But before that shadow man or whatever could leave the side of, you know, the gate and go, she just had grunts like like an old man with a deep voice. And then she was like, okay, maybe that concludes that maybe this is just a person with who's just trying to do stuff or something, because no shadow sounds like some old man, you know. So she got relieved, and then almost immediately the husband called, and then he was like, I remembered we had like a motion sensor street light, but I guess it wasn't turned on. But there's a system, he had like this system in his phone that he just remembered, and he turned it on from his phone. So that's why he just turned on, because again, the light was censoring motion. It was not censoring, so it was sensing motion. Sorry, it was sensing motion. Yeah. So the chick, the woman was like, thank you for, thank for that. That definitely helped, and whoever was there just went away. But the husband was very pissed. Was like, this is definitely some sick ass man trying to do something for sure, right? So the woman just went and told the nanny everything is sorted, and she went back. I think she got so frustrated, she just went to bed immediately and locked the door that separates the rest of the house with the rooms, right? So I guess a few weeks later, like the husband of course came back from his work trip and went to the office and complained about that story, and it was investigated, and turns out that there was one of the watchmen who patrolled at night, the guards, one of them had just like was acting suspiciously by just going to random people's houses and trying to open their doors or trying to follow people, or I don't even know what. I don't even think he was okay mentally. But of course the complaint, that wasn't the first complaint. Apparently it's been happening, but I guess they're just giving him second chances. But now after that he was fired immediately, because that is very strange behavior. What the fuck, for real? Like, yeah. So, and after that the woman and the husband and the kid and basically the family moved away from Del Monte Estate. They went to live somewhere else in Thika, somewhere that isn't like that, and just wasn't open to workers like that, yeah. Sometimes it's not ghosts that are even scary. Sometimes it's just people moving in the dark.